Hello, welcome to Alasdair Aquatics. I hope you're doing well. So this video is all about bonsai trees, and I'm sure you've just seen from that intro that my bonsai trees are looking pretty healthy and happy, if I do say so myself. Now, if you're a subscriber to my channel, you will have seen a previous video that I posted about me repotting some of my bonsai trees, such as this one here, and it has put on some great growth, and I think the trunk has thickened up slightly, and I'm really happy with how it's looking, and I'm really happy with its progress. Now, I want to talk to you about two things today, really. I want to talk about repotting bonsai trees and why we do that. And I also want to talk about how to achieve an old, mature look when caring for our bonsai trees. Now, I want to start this video off by saying bonsai trees do require patience. None of this is a quick fix. You know, this is years and years of work, but I just want to lend you my perspective. So, repotting our bonsai trees, why do we do it? Well, over time, the roots that are in the soil eventually can become what's called root bound. This is where the roots literally wrap around the outside of the pot. They've got nowhere to go, and the tree can sometimes slow down in terms of growth. This is a perfect time to repot your bonsai tree. It gives you a chance to move it from one pot size to a pot size that's slightly bigger. Now, bear in mind, I wouldn't go from a pot size of this to a pot size of this. I'd just look at increasing the pot size by about 1 inch in length and width. And when you do this, you're allowing the roots to spread out just that a little bit more, and I'd also replace the soil. So you're giving the tree fresh soil with more nutrients, and hopefully you will see an increase in growth rate like I have. And that's really key to keeping the tree healthy, you know, over years, because if you compare it to a tree out in the wild, the roots are just allowed to spread as far as they want to go, and they can have almost unlimited access to nutrients, and you end up with giant trees like the ones behind me. Obviously, we're not able to do that, but it's something to bear in mind. So if repotting our bonsai trees allows for better health of the tree, that's all well and good, but how do we achieve that old ancient look? How do we really go from a small bonsai that we pick up in a garden centre or a nursery to that old ancient bonsai tree that I'm sure you guys, if you're bonsai enthusiasts, will have spent lots of time looking up online in books and on YouTube? How do we go from that little tree that we've just got to that amazing mature tree? Now, like I said before, this isn't going to be a quick process. It's going to take years and years, but there's some things to bear in mind. Now, when I think of a mature tree, I don't necessarily think of this. This to me is a healthy, happy, good-looking tree. I'm happy with it. But I want it to eventually look old and mature. And one of the main things you can do to achieve that look is to have a thicker trunk. If you look at some trees out in the wild, they're going to have massive trunks, quite thick trunks. You know, if they're quite tall, sometimes you think of a redwood, you know, some of the biggest trees in the world, their trunks are ginormous. And, you know, it's really the diameter of the trunk that you're going to want to sort of think about when caring for your bonsai tree. Now, how do we achieve that? Well, by increasing the pot size and repotting our bonsai tree every few years and allowing it to grow, you're going to achieve better growth, better health, and the trunk should thicken up. You know, over time, this should allow for the trunk to slowly thicken up. Another thing you can do, if you get any sprouts like this from the base of the tree, don't be quick to cut them off. They might not look great right now, but what they're going to do is it's going to eventually form a branch, it's going to form more leaves, the tree's going to photosynthesize even more, the whole tree's going to be healthier, it's going to grow even faster. It's almost like a chain reaction, and you're going to end up with a bigger, thicker tree, healthier tree quicker than if you were to, every time something like this sprouted up, cut it off. This goes for unwanted branches as well. Say you had a random branch sticking out here. If you can put up with it for a few years, I would. You know, it's going to help the overall health of the tree. A tree with no leaves or a tree with just 2 branches isn't going to be as healthy as a tree that has 50 branches. You know, just bear that in mind. You know, the leaves are performing photosynthesis, and, you know, we're going to want as much plant mass as we can, as well as root mass. You know, these are quite key things when achieving good tree health. Now, I just want to quickly mention that I've seen some techniques that some people do who maybe live in hotter or more humid climates, and they actually farm bonsais professionally. I've seen a few techniques that some people use. So one of them is to actually place the bonsai in the pot in the soil. But before they do that, they drill some quite big holes. Now what this is going to do is it's going to keep most of the roots in the pot, but it is going to allow a portion of the roots to spread out, and maybe they could go for meters and meters and get loads more nutrients. You're going to then see an explosion of growth in the growing season, and the overall health of the tree is going to increase tremendously. Now this is something they do to basically go from a spindly looking tree to a mature tree as quick as they can, as quick as possible. And once they've done that, they just cut off those roots that are spreading out from the pot, and they just pull the pot out of the ground, and that's when they can really begin working on that tree. Now, the reason why they don't just let all the roots do that is because then when you come to lift the tree out of the ground, you're going to end up with a massive root system. And if you go taking 80% of the roots of a tree off, it's not going to be happy. You know, I think the general rule is around 10 or 20% of the roots to be taken off in any one time. And then you're going to want to give it a few years to recover. Now, if your roots are spread for meters and meters, you're just not going to have a pot big enough. And it can be quite risky taking a plant like that out of the ground, not to mention quite difficult. So, someone like me and you, we've just got our bonsai trees in little pots indoors. What can we do? Well, like I said before, we can increase the pot size and repot it every few years when it becomes root bound. And we can also take good care of our trees, lightly fertilize them in the summer, keep up in terms of maintenance and health, and just sort of wait, I guess. That is the main thing. Like I said, the ancient look isn't something that's going to happen quickly. Sadly, it's going to be something that is a 20-year project. And you've got to be okay with that when caring for your bonsai trees. You might be someone who has a tree like this and you're perfectly happy with how it looks, and that's that. That's perfectly fine. But I just think that most bonsai tree enthusiasts out there will be looking for that ancient, mature look in at least some of their trees. And I just wanted to have this talk with you guys about that. Now, like I said, I'm no expert, so be sure to leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like. Remember to smash that subscribe button, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video. What I will do is I will leave you a quick couple of clips of my bonsai trees again, just in case you're interested, and I will catch up with you guys very soon. All right, guys, take it easy. Bye-bye.